Oregon. A land of deep forests, winding highways, and quiet small towns. But behind the beauty lies something darker, stories of lives cut short, people who vanished, and mysteries that remain unsolved to this day. Tonight, we begin with one such story. A young woman, just trying to make ends meet. A simple pizza delivery on an ordinary night. But she would never come home. Her name was Kay Turner. Or as her friends called her, Kayla. She was 18 years old. A college student. A daughter. A dreamer. And on a cold night in Oregon, she vanished into the shadows. It was supposed to be her last delivery of the night. A small order, barely $10. She told her manager she'd be back in 15 minutes. She even joked, "Save me a slice." But 15 minutes became 30. Then an hour. Her manager tried calling her phone, no answer. By midnight, the store was closed. Her car was found parked at the edge of a quiet neighborhood. The pizzas still inside. Her jacket folded neatly in the passenger seat. But Kayla was gone. What would you think, if this was your daughter? Your sister? If her car was there, but she wasn't? By dawn, the small Oregon town was buzzing with fear. Volunteers searched the woods, knocking on doors, calling her name. The police investigated, but there were no witnesses. No signs of a struggle. No footprints in the mud. It was as if the night had swallowed her whole. Rumors spread. Some whispered about a stalker seen near the pizza shop. Others remembered a dark pickup truck that cruised the area. But no one could prove anything. Weeks turned into months. Kayla's face was plastered on billboards, milk cartons, and the evening news. But each lead ended in silence. Imagine that silence. The phone never ringing. The front door never opening. Her mother sitting at the window every night, praying to see headlights in the driveway. Then came a break. A man in another town claimed he saw a girl matching Kayla's description at a truck stop diner. She looked scared, he said. She looked like she wanted to escape. Police rushed to the diner. But she was gone. Another tip came from a gas station attendant who claimed a driver paid with a credit card belonging to Kayla. But when investigators checked, the signature didn't match. Every clue dangled hope, only to collapse into despair. To this day, no one knows what really happened to Kayla. Was it a random kidnapping? A customer waiting for her in the dark? Or someone she trusted, someone who offered to help? Some believe she was taken by a long-haul trucker. Others think she was lured into a trap by someone she knew. But without answers, her case remains one of Oregon's most haunting mysteries. And so I ask you, if you were delivering a pizza that night, and the house seemed wrong, no lights, no voices, just silence, would you step inside? Kayla's mother still sets a place for her at the dinner table. Her friends still remember her laugh. But her story remains unfinished. And in Oregon, she is not the only one. Because just miles away, another family vanished. This time, not just one life, but 4. The family lost in the Columbia River Gorge. The Columbia River Gorge is one of Oregon's most breathtaking landscapes. Towering cliffs, hidden waterfalls, and forests that stretch forever. But beneath the beauty, lies danger. And in 1999, one family drove into that wilderness, and never came back. The Martinez family, husband, wife, 2 children, were last seen leaving their relatives' home after a weekend gathering. They told everyone they'd take the scenic route through the gorge. But they never arrived home. Days later, their relatives reported them missing. Searchers combed the highways, the back roads, even the riverbanks. Then came the discovery, their car, half submerged in the Columbia River, wedged against the rocks. Inside, mud, broken glass. But no sign of the family. Divers braved the freezing currents. Rescue boats dragged sonar across the river. And in the days that followed, one by one, the bodies were found. But something was strange. The father's body surfaced miles downstream. The mother and children were discovered weeks later, further apart than currents should have carried them. And inside the car, the seatbelts were cut. Accident? Or something far more sinister? The official story said they lost control of their car. That they slipped off the road, crashing into the river. But many locals never believed it. Why were the seatbelts cut? Why was the car window rolled down? And why did one witness claim they saw another vehicle tailing the family that night? Whispers spread. Some believed it was foul play. Others thought the father staged it, only to drown with his family. But the truth? Still unknown. The river keeps its secrets well. And the Martinez family became another ghost of Oregon's waters. But the gorge is not the only place where Oregon is haunted. Because in one small town, people say they can hear a sound. A sound no one can explain. A sound that won't go away. The town haunted by a mysterious sound. Imagine lying in bed at night. The town is quiet. But then, you hear it. A low, unending hum. Not from the highway. Not from the forest. A sound with no source. In the town of Taft, Oregon, that hum became a nightmare. It began in the 1980s. Residents reported a strange vibration, like machinery buried underground. It rattled windows. Kept children awake. Dogs howled at it. But when officials investigated, they found nothing. The sound was real. Hundreds heard it. But microphones failed to record it. What would you do, if you were the only one in your family who could hear it? Some residents left town, unable to endure the endless noise. Others fell ill, headaches, nausea, sleeplessness. Doctors called it mass hysteria. Scientists called it the Taft hum. But the people living there? They called it torture. Some claimed it came from underground military experiments. Others pointed to natural seismic shifts. And skeptics said it was all in their minds. But if it was only imagination, how do you explain the entire town hearing it at once? The hum has faded in recent years, but for those who lived through it, the memory lingers like an invisible scar. A sound that drives a town to madness. A family lost to the river. A girl vanished into the night. And yet, Oregon's mysteries go even deeper. Because in one case, a young woman disappeared during a simple sales call. And what was left behind still chills investigators today. The young woman who disappeared during a sales call. Her name was Lisa Roberts. A 21-year-old college student, she worked part-time selling magazines door to door. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. On a spring afternoon, Lisa set out with her catalogs. She was expected home for dinner. She never came back. Neighbors saw her knock on 3 houses in a row. At the 4th, she disappeared. Her bag was found on the porch. The catalog opened to the page she last showed. But Lisa was gone. Police canvassed the area. Residents were questioned. Some claimed they saw a man watching Lisa from a car. Others reported a door that slammed shut just as she walked by. But no trace of her was ever found. Her parents begged for answers. Her college friends held vigils. Still, the mystery grew colder with each passing year. Some believe she was lured into a house by a predator. Others think she was abducted by someone pretending to be a customer. One chilling theory suggests Lisa may have knocked on the wrong door, a door belonging to a man who was hiding terrible secrets. But like the pizza girl, and the family in the gorge, Lisa never came home. One knock. One door. One moment. That's all it took for Lisa's life to vanish. But our final story is not just about a disappearance. It's about a murder. A case that revealed something far darker. That sometimes, it's not just killers we should fear. Sometimes, it's the system itself. The murder case that exposed Oregon's justice failures. The year was 1987. In a quiet Oregon town, a woman was found murdered in her home. The crime scene was bloody, brutal. And within days, police arrested a suspect, a young man named Frank Gable. But what followed would become one of the most controversial cases in Oregon's history. Frank insisted he was innocent. But prosecutors built their case on jailhouse informants and shaky witness statements. There was no DNA. No clear motive. Still, he was convicted. Sentenced to life. Years later, the truth began to unravel. Witnesses recanted. Some admitted police pressured them. Evidence had been ignored. Even the real killer may have confessed, but the system didn't listen. Frank Gable spent nearly 3 decades behind bars, for a crime many believe he didn't commit. What does justice mean, if an innocent man can lose his life behind prison walls? A girl who vanished. A family drowned. A town tormented by a sound. A young woman lost to a knock on a stranger's door. And a justice system that failed. These are Oregon's unsolved mysteries. But they are not just stories. They are lives. And they still haunt us. So what can we learn from these mysteries? From Kayla, the pizza delivery girl, the importance of community safety, of looking out for workers alone at night. From the Martinez family in the gorge, the need for better road safety and deeper investigations when answers don't add up. From the Taft hum. That sometimes, communities need to be believed, even when science has no explanation. From Lisa's disappearance, that everyday routines can turn dangerous, and vigilance matters. From Frank Gable's case, that justice must be questioned, and that wrongful convictions destroy lives. These are not legends. These are real people. And their stories should never be forgotten. But if these mysteries remain unsolved, what about the ones we never hear about? If Oregon holds secrets in its forests, its rivers, its towns, then how many other mysteries are waiting in the dark? And so I leave you with this question. What do you believe? Share your thoughts. Subscribe for more crimes and mysteries.